Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jurnee Smollett-Bell, and I'm in the No Judgment Zone on Global Grind. Be sure to watch Underground, though, March 9th.
What's going on, folks? There's nothing better to do. I'm Blockzilla. You're watching the No Judgment Zone, and today I have a wonderful young lady with me, the lovely Jurnee Smollett-Bell.
Hey!
How's it going?
It's going great. I'm happy to be here.
I'm chilling here with Rosalie from Underground.
Yes!
A show coming to WGN. It's a great show. I saw the first episode, and
good.
you get dirty in this film.
Yes, I get dirty, I get uncomfortable. I really step outside of my comfort zone for this character, which, you know, as an artist, that's when you are forced to do greater work. When you aren't in the safe zone.
You have a very, very interesting catalog of work. You are Eve's Bayou. We know you from The Great Debaters. We know you from Confessions. And now this. Your roles always have a message to them. And this one is probably the deepest message yet. Can you explain a little bit about the storyline in Underground? Underground
is about the Underground Railroad. It's about a brave group of men and women who risk their lives running over 600 miles to freedom. They were the revolutionaries. They were the resistors. They were the ones who decided to fight back and risk it all. And it explores how complicated it was. You know, you can't just run. Where do you run to? Who do you run to? Who can you trust? The slave catchers are out after you, the dogs are after you, and if they don't catch you, the conditions might kill you.
You've been blessed to work with some amazing people. Like, what's the best advice you've gotten from like a peer, like an actor, actress, producer, director?
You know, I have been blessed to work with a lot of amazing people. I mean, Denzel told me, man gives awards, God gives rewards. That was, Denzel's good at quotes.
Yeah.
But one thing that always sticks with me, that I quote a lot actually in my head, is Quincy Jones once told me, he said, you can't believe them when they tell you you're great, because you'll believe them when they tell you you're not great. You have to know who you are, who God made you to be.
But like, how do you like sort of like not let that go to your head, because you're a very humble girl, very humble woman. So how do you like not let that go to your head? I
grew up with such a strong foundation. My mom is one of the strongest women you'll ever meet, and you know, my siblings, I'm one of 6 kids. So for me, I've been an actress my entire life, but this business hasn't been my life.
Yeah.
You know, I do a lot outside of this business, and when you serve others, you realize how unimportant this stuff is, and you realize what life really is about. And so it really makes you grateful, you know, and it makes you humble, because we give so much importance to this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to know, because we saw you, I don't know, I think it was Full House, and then like there was a period of time from like 2000, the Eve's Bayou, from 2000 to 2007 when you didn't do that much work. Did you take time to grow up, or what did you do during that time period?
Well, I was growing up. I did a few projects, you know, a few things here and there, but for me, again, it wasn't important to always work. If I read a script that I was passionate about and I wanted to explore the character, I would do it. And if no scripts came, then I just wouldn't do it. You know, I had so many interests outside of this industry growing up. You know, I had dishes to do. I had schoolwork to do. My mom sent me, you know, to community college when I was still in high school. I did a lot of volunteer work with Artists for New South Africa, and I traveled a lot. Speaking about HIV/AIDS, you know, those were the things that were food for my soul.
What kind of hate did you get about being light skinned?
That's a loaded question.
It is.
You know, I can't really say that I got a lot of hate about being light skinned. I do remember growing up being places with my dad and people not believing that he was my dad, you know, because he was Jewish, things like that. Like I observed how the world saw me as from an early age, but I can't really say I got like a complex about it or anything like that. You know, my mom's a strong Black woman from New Orleans, and you know, she really kept me grounded about my identity in that way.
Music. You're a huge music fan. I know
Yes.
that. And you and your husband bonded over music.
Yes.
Do you remember what song? Like, how'd you guys like? You don't know how to do music?
Okay, so funny story. I met my husband 10 years ago when we were teenagers here in New York because he was mixing an album. He's a music producer, and Brandon T. Jackson was the person who introduced us because he grew up with my husband, and I had just done Roll Bounce with Brandon, and we bonded over Diana Ross, It's My House. Because I'm a huge Diana Ross fan. My middle name is Diana.
Oh, wow.
And we kept in touch initially about music because, you know, I was like, I wanted to work with him and I was going to be a singer and all this stuff. And that never happened. But, you know, we eventually fell in love. Yeah. And music is definitely a huge part of our relationship.
When we talked, we were like, he sings a song. I was like, oh, okay.
Man, I'm the luckiest girl in the world when it comes to him because he just sits down at the piano and sings, and I constantly get serenaded without him intentionally serenading me.
Yeah. What were conversations with your brother Jussie like when things weren't going so well for him? Like, cause he's trying, not going so well. I don't want to say going well, but when he was trying to sort of make it and make his big break in the industry.
I mean, I think all of us always knew that it would happen. It's really just been about persistence, and you know, when you see someone constantly trying and performing night after night at small little venues and releasing songs, and you know, he just never stopped. And that's one thing, you know, I was always a huge fan of his, and my entire family, we were always at his shows screaming in the front row.
Yeah.
You know, I think what's so amazing though is to see him just shine like this. Like, to see his dreams come true is the greatest thing. To see good things happen to a good person, because he's such a genuinely amazing person. Like, he just deserves the best. He really does.
The first time I realized how well you can act, I think it was The Great Debaters. And it wasn't just you, it was you and Nate Parker and Denzel. And I was like, these guys, these actors are going to be great and phenomenal.
Thank you.
Did you see the things that other people saw in Nate and Denzel? Like, did you see those things?
You know, I mean, absolutely. But Denzel Washington, you know, he wasn't going to have any of us slumming. He pushed us really hard. And I know all of us became better because we worked with him. Yeah. And not just worked with him in scenes, but we were directed by him. And he gave us all these tools, all these nuggets. I think that, I know for a fact that's a process. And that project is something that will be with all of us for the rest of our lives. Yeah. You know, like, his stamp is gonna forever be on our work.
Yeah. Is this something that you sort of noticed looking at Denzel work? Because this is a guy who can come in and be like, yeah, I don't want this, I don't want that. He could be how he can demand those things. But to me, it seems like he's so humble, so down to earth, and such a real.
He's a real good person. Yeah. And honestly, he's giving. You know, I think that's what makes him such an amazing actor, is how generous he is. I mean, to this day, whenever I'm with him, he's constantly dropping wisdom, you know, and constantly planting things inside of me. His knowledge of character, structure, and, you know, exploring human beings. The way he writes biographies, these are all things I now do. Because I worked with him.
And so on the Underground, you are doing a bunch of great lines, a bunch of great situations and scenarios. I've seen some of the stuff. What is your relationship with it? Because you guys seem so tight.
Underground was such an intense project for us. The shooting process was draining, and you know, I worked harder than I've ever worked in my life. But having a cast and crew there where you are so close and you could feel safe, it's priceless. And I think we're all just so passionate about Underground. Like, this show is bananas. It's incredible. It's unlike anything I've ever done, or unlike anything I've ever seen on television. I mean, it just makes me so proud of our people. You know, like, we come from kings and queens. And these are kings and queens. These are the revolutionaries. These are the ones who resisted. These are the ones who fought back. And to have the privilege to give life to their stories, to give voice to their voices, you know, it really is an honor.
And it's created by Misha Green.
Yes, and Joe Pikowski.
Yeah, but Misha personally is a great person.
Tell me about Misha.
I like Misha. I think Misha dope. Hook me up. Introduce me like Brandon T. No. But Misha, being able to use her words, like and she's so smart and intelligent, and being able to has done a lot of good stuff. What have you learned from her? Like, how's your relationship with her?
I freaking adore her. I mean, she's gonna be the next Shonda Rhimes. Mark my words. I mean, she's so gifted with story and characters. And it was a very stimulating process, but now she's my girl. Like we used to fight all the time, but now she's like my best friend.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you very much for stopping by the No Judgment Zone with Blogzilla. That's our show, folks. Join us next week. We're running away from all gossip. We're gonna get away a team. We're gonna go through the bayou and do a whole bunch of gangster stuff. And we're gonna, you know what we're gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
We're gonna drop the people's elbows on 12 little people. It's gonna be horrible, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Oh.
Let's go.
Okay.